Hi everyone, it has been over 3 years since the last time I posted a long form video on YouTube, so I think we deserve a get ready together and a little catch up. So let's go back to 3 years ago. It was actually July 2022 that I posted my last video with my, at the time, boyfriend, Kevin. We were at Disney World and I was kind of sharing that trip to Florida, and it was so much fun. And then I just abruptly stopped posting long form content on YouTube. Since that video in 2022, there have been a lot of really exciting things that have happened in my life-changing ones, of course, that I will absolutely be sharing with you. But it's not reality for us just to talk about the good things. Not that I really want to harp on the negative things, but I will. The one thing that I will say is that 2025 has been a very emotionally, mentally, physically exhausting year for me in terms of health. Bit of what I would call a health scare, even though it was kind of something that happened over time. But I did have to go through my very first procedure, and that really took a toll on me for a significant amount of months. And so it was super mentally and emotionally draining for me to even think about going through a procedure. I was just absolutely terrified to go through anything. And I know that everyone talks about anesthesia in like a very positive way. It was the best sleep of their life. For me, I feel like I thought of it as the opposite. It was very, very scary for me. And so I was just extremely scared. But we're all good now. We're putting that behind us, even though we still have to get checked up on once in a while. But you know what? If that's the worst of it, then we're good. I want to talk about some of the more positive, life-changing things that have happened since the last time we chatted. So the last time we chatted was July of 2022. And in August of 2022, my mom had plans to go on a business trip. And she asked me to go as her plus one. It was her first time going to this specific location. And so I opted to go with her. I was really excited to go with her. And so now comes October. We are preparing to leave for our trip. It was going to be, I believe, a 7 or 8 day trip. The first night I was really tired, so I didn't really want to go see the sunset or anything like that. Just let my mom and her colleagues kind of go on their own, and I just stayed in the room. And then the next day, I decided that I would leave the beach a little bit early to get ready for dinner. I definitely wanted to film my Thanksgiving makeup look, and I did. Little did I know that there was a whole plan for me. I ended up going downstairs because my mom said, because I missed the sunset the night before, that I absolutely need to see how beautiful the sunset was. We ended up going to Barbados. How beautiful the sunset was in Barbados. So we both walked downstairs, and I had the biggest surprise of my life waiting for me. I felt a tap on my shoulder as I was watching the sunset, and I turned around, and it was Kevin. And he ended up surprising me by showing up in Barbados, which again, had no idea he was going to be there, and he proposed. It was obviously a life-changing experience. I was going to be marrying my absolute best friend, and it was the best surprise, best experience. It was a dream of mine. I'd be happy to do a whole proposal story time if you guys like. Let me know in the comments. I would absolutely love to do that if you want that. But that was October of 2022, and that was the beginning of the best era of my life. After getting engaged, we knew we would have to be on the hunt for our own place and have that in place by the time we got married, because we wanted to move out at that time. And let me tell you, house hunting is not as fun as it may seem to you. I have to say, house hunting was more stressful than wedding planning. I personally think that house hunting requires you to be available like 24/7, and you need to get your paperwork in, you need to be looking at things, you need to be reviewing this and that, literally in the middle of your day while you are trying to work. We knew exactly what we wanted. Did we get exactly what we wanted? No, but we did get the place that made the most sense for us at the time and still does make sense for us. But I absolutely cannot complain because our area is beautiful, our home is beautiful, we have the space, we have everything I've wanted. So yeah, that is where I am in our new home. Actually bought the place in March of 2023. We got possession of the property March 2023. So we have almost been homeowners for about 3 years. It'll be 3 years, March 2026, which is crazy. I can't believe how fast time is flying by, but it's been great. I've loved being a homeowner. I love living with my best friend. I love the freedom. Do I love the adulting? No, it can kind of be stressful when you're so used to living a certain way. But I will say that I am still learning. I'm still on the journey of being a homeowner. I'm still learning little things. But yeah, it has been great. That is another update for you that we did buy a house in March of 2023. So now we are in our wedding era, our bride and groom era, preparing for the wedding, which I have to say that it was the best experience of my life. I absolutely enjoyed my bridal era. I never wanted it to end. I wish I could be a bride forever, but it was honestly so much fun planning a wedding with my best friend, having wedding planners who were super, super helpful and ended up becoming our really good friends, having amazing vendors and getting everything we could have ever dreamed of on our wedding day. So in March of 2024, we're now kind of at the finish line of wedding planning. I just had my bridal shower, which was my absolute dream. I had a Love is Brewing bridal shower. If you know me, you know I absolutely love my coffee. So this just made so much sense for me to have a bridal shower that was all about coffee. But anyways, Kevin was having his stag, and I think he just had his stag. Or maybe he was just about to have his stag. But we were just at the finish line getting ready to get married. And Kevin was driving and ended up getting into a car accident. Now, the car accident was not his fault. His car ended up getting totaled. And we were going to be left without a car because I didn't own a car. He owned a car and his car was now totaled. So the only thing that we could do, because our new home that we just bought a year before this, we were just about to move into it. It was not in the city that our parents live in. It was actually much further. It was about, 30 minutes away, 25 to 30 minutes away. So it's not really easy to commute back and forth. We had to buy a car. So not only were we first-time home buyers, just, trying to figure out being homeowners, we were just moving into our place, slowly moving in because we kind of wanted to wait till the wedding to fully move in. But we were pretty much staying at our place, or we were just about to start staying at our place and, getting it ready. We were just about to leave for our bachelor and bachelorette parties, and the car's totaled. We really had no choice but to purchase a car. So we did. Now that we bought our car, we're now moved into our home finally. We're getting settled into a new routine, learning how to adult. Like I said, it was a big change for us from living with our parents, having our parents do a lot of things for us, to now being responsible for, a mortgage, for groceries, for the furniture that we wanted. getting ourselves to work, all of that kind of stuff was a huge change for both of us. We ended up figuring it out. We got married, and it was the best day for both of us. We had our dream wedding. It was such a beautiful wedding. We had our best friends in our wedding party. We had so much fun dancing with everyone. I personally feel like the wedding did not go by fast. The wedding day didn't. I didn't feel like it flashed before my eyes. I felt like I was able to eat. I felt like I was able to enjoy myself. So overall, we both had a great experience. Kevin might have had a little bit too much to drink that day, which I don't recommend doing. But overall, it was still a really fun time, and I wish I could go back and do it again. Once our wedding was over, it was honestly really sad because I really, like I said, enjoyed my bridal era. I didn't ever want it to end, but of course I wanted to get married and do the whole thing. I just never wanted to leave that era. But then we had our honeymoon planned for a couple months later, and we ended up going on a Mediterranean cruise as well as just exploring Europe. I don't know if I ever brought you guys on a cruise with us before, but since 2022, we have been on a total of 3 different cruises, one being our honeymoon. And on our honeymoon, we ended up going to Italy. I think it was Rome, Florence, and there was one more spot. I can't remember. And then we went to France. We went to a few spots in France as well as Spain. And if you know me, you know that Spain has been on my bucket list for as long as I can remember. And I got to check that off my bucket list. Not only did we go to Spain on the cruise ship, but we actually spent a few days in Spain, Italy, and France before going on this Mediterranean cruise. So it was kind of like we saw each place twice. So yeah, that's been our life for the last couple of years. Still working my full-time job, but something new is I actually started my own business. It's a content creation business where I do behind the scenes content for different events, for vendors, for brides and grooms, for bridal showers, baby showers, birthday parties. I'm also starting to do behind the scenes for some small businesses who are looking to tell their brand story through content. Honestly, I started that in October of 2024. The reason why I started that is I had a content creator at our wedding, and I absolutely love the fact that I got all the content the next day and could relive those moments and see things that I didn't get to see with my own eyes the next morning. So you basically got to see everything that happened behind the scenes at my own wedding, seeing other people's raw reactions, emotions, all of that. The next morning, we woke up and we had a link sent to our phone, and we got to watch all of the clips from the night before, share with family and friends, and I also got to share on social media. So not only do I work my full-time job in HR, I also run my content creation business that I work mostly on weekends in terms of going to these events or meeting up with different brand owners and businesses. But I do work on it during the week, of course. There's still admin to do. There's still inquiry forms to respond to and posting and all of that. But I also still do run my beauty and fashion page on Instagram. I post a lot about my favorite beauty products. If you guys remember on my YouTube channel, 3 years ago, I was posting all about beauty. And I really just started getting into fashion more over the last couple years. And so I started posting a little bit about that, which I will start bringing here on YouTube. I have a few more kind of smaller updates for you. Why not share as I'm doing my makeup? In February of 2025, I went on a cruise. Kevin and I both went on a cruise with our friends. This was our very first friend trip, and it was so much fun. I never really thought I would enjoy cruising, but we've been on so many so far, and it just made sense to bring our friends on one too. And so we ended up going on Royal Caribbean, We always go with Royal Caribbean, but we ended up taking them on Royal Caribbean, and it was just 4 of us. We left out of Galveston, Texas, which I've never been to before, but we stayed there for about 24 hours before getting on the cruise ship, and it was just such a good time. We ended up in Honduras and Mexico, and it was a 7-night cruise, and so you can only imagine how fun it was with all the themes that you got to dress for and things like that. So I highly recommend going on a cruise trip with your friends. Even if you've never been on a cruise before, I'm telling you, you're gonna have so much fun. Like I said, we also went on a cruise for our honeymoon. So our honeymoon was in September of 2024. Our friend trip was in February of 2025. And then in August of 2025, my parents wanted to go on a family vacation. They've never been on a cruise. They swore they would never go on because they didn't really like the fact that they were going to be on an open body of water. But let me tell you, they had the best time. I'm glad we converted them to cruise people because I cannot wait to go on another cruise with them. We ended up going on a really short cruise because, again, it was their first time. They weren't sure how they were going to like it. So we went on the new Utopia of the Seas. I think at that point that we went, it was open for about a year. So it was a pretty new ship. It's definitely more of a party ship. So just be aware of that. There's a lot of bachelorettes and bachelor people on there. It's not really like a family cruise, I would say. But for us, because we're all adults, it was really, really fun. I need a coffee break. One crazy thing that actually happened to me in 2025 that I think was the best part of my 2025 has to be the fact that I did a masterclass. I got to co-host a masterclass with the brand Kiehl's, and I have to tell you, that was a crazy experience. I never thought I would ever do something like that. I basically invited who I wanted to have at a Kiehl's store where Kiehl's would teach my friends and my family about their products and how to use them and anti-aging things and how to make your skin look more hydrated and feel more hydrated. It was just such a fun experience. Everyone got to touch samples and play with the products and got to purchase the products at a discounted price and walked away with goodie bags. I can't believe I could even say that I've done something like this, but it was definitely something that was a highlight for me in 2025. So 2025 wasn't actually all that bad. Maybe there was a little bit of a hiccup, but I have to tell you, that was so much fun. I'm going to quickly spray my face and lock in this makeup even though I have nowhere to go today. And then we'll talk about the future of my YouTube channel. Whew. So my plan for YouTube is, obviously, I'm now returning to YouTube. I wanted to catch up with you before I get back into content, and it's not weird for me to be back and just not introduce myself. I feel like that would be weird, just to get straight into content and not explain where I've been, what I've been up to. Because of course, 3 years ago, I was a very different person. I wasn't engaged, wasn't married, didn't have a home, didn't have a car, all of that stuff. So I've definitely grown since then. So let this be a reintroduction to who I am. Whether you have been a longtime follower of mine or you've discovered me on Instagram, discovered me through YouTube Shorts, whatever it is, if this is your first video, I just wanted to reintroduce myself. I'm Stephanie. I am a Toronto-based beauty and fashion creator. Like I said in this video, I'm someone who works in HR as a professional. I've been doing that for over 5 years now. And I also own my own content creation business called BTS with Steph. And that is who I am today. I am a wife. I am now in my 30s, which is insane to think about. I'm someone who absolutely loves a routine. I enjoy working out, which I haven't done in a little bit because of the whole health situation, but I'm excited to get back into it. I have a huge passion for content creation, and so that is why I'm here. But my plan moving forward is this. I plan on posting on YouTube minimum 1 time a week. I gotta get myself back into it, don't we? So I definitely want to post 1 day a week. That is absolutely going to happen. If I end up posting more times in a week, 1 week, so be it. But I definitely want to post 1 day a week at the minimum. And my plan, of course, my content has never really changed. It has evolved in terms of quality. I'm actually shooting on a new camera right now, so hopefully my quality is great. But I plan on posting vlogs. I plan on posting beauty reviews, makeup looks, skincare that I absolutely love, sharing my love for fashion, maybe some try-on hauls, whatever comes my way. So if there is a specific thing that you want me to post about, if something interests you more than other things, I would love for you to let me know in the comments. I do this as an escape for myself, as a creative way to express myself, but I'm also here to entertain you, of course. So the content that I post, you have to love and I have to love. So definitely don't hesitate to let me know in the comments what you'd like to see from me. And that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed catching up with me. I had a lot of fun filming this video and getting to reintroduce myself to you. This is the final makeup look. I hope you like it. It's actually my everyday makeup look. So if you're looking for the products and the shades that I use, they are linked down below in the description box. If you want to see more content from me, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, which is linked in the description box. And I am so excited to create another video and post it next week. So I will see you then. Ciao for now.